Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today we're looking at another case that shows that it wasn't necessarily that easy to just hide a criminal abortion death. On January 15th of 1915, 22-year-old Margaret I can't pronounce this poor woman's last name, Jennickes. We'll just say Margaret. She died in Chicago. Somebody tipped off the coroner that there was something fishy about Margaret's death, and I'm going to quote from news coverage. Mourners over the girl's body were surprised by a visit from coroner's physician Springer. He performed an autopsy and changed the death report from dilation of the heart to peritonitis due to a criminal abortion. The coroner's office concluded that the abortion had been perpetrated by Dr. C.A. Erickson of South Green Street. Erickson was charged with murder. A man named Joseph Martin of Bishop Street was also held for manslaughter. Now, though Erickson was indicted on February 1st, the case never went to trial because the men were exonerated by a grand jury, and no other suspects in Margaret's death are mentioned in my sources. So I've been unable to determine why these guys were suspects and why they were cleared. But again, this is part of why I want to get monetized so I can afford to go to Chicago, read all of the original source documents, and get more of an idea of what was happening in Margaret's life that led her to the decision that ended in her death. We can't stop these tragedies from happening if we don't know all of the steps. Kind of think of it as air crash investigation. You don't just say, okay, this one person screwed up, we're good. Or, well, it was an accident, we're good. You look at the chain of events that led to it. And I want to look at the chain of events and, go back as far as possible. And this is a huge part of why so many pro-lifers are very chary of women having sex in untenable situations. If you don't have sex in untenable situations, you don't get pregnant in untenable situations. And, unfortunately, it's the women, not the men, who suffer the consequences of this. Even the abortion lobby largely admits that abortion is not this, it's like getting your teeth cleaned. It is an ordeal, and it is, at the very, very least, a medical procedure that does carry some risks. And at the very least, when a woman's climbing into bed with some man, she needs to be asking herself, am I willing? First of all, you're increasing your risk of cervical cancer with every additional sexual partner you have. So is this guy worth increasing my risk of cervical cancer over? If the answer is no, look for somebody else. Is this guy worth risking ending up on the abortion table for? If the answer is no, look for somebody who's worth that risk. And, how about, waiting and doing the baby making thing with people that you really do think it's okay to make a baby with? Or get your tubes tied.